The Penn State coaching search continues. Everyone else has hired a coach. Ole Miss didn't even know their job was open until today. They already filled theirs. I don't really know where we are. I really don't know where we are. I will tell you this. This search feels lost. It has for a while. It feels lost to me. I say that with some hesitance because you just never know. Pat Kraft could be duping everyone, and he could have a home run, grand slam, like turn the world on its ears, mystery candidate, and he's going to unveil it, and everyone, including me, has to say, wow, big apologies to Pat Kraft. I don't think that's where we are, but maybe that's where we are. So what we need to do is we need to step back for just a second, and we need to acknowledge the latest reporting and the latest rumor and intel that we've gotten. We think they're meeting with Kalani Sitake, who is the head coach at Brigham Young. This has been pretty widely reported in Penn State circles. So if you're following Penn State, this is not news to you. If you're not following Penn State, that probably came out of left field a little bit. I have no clue how advanced their talks had been with him. I have no idea if he'd be a fit. He's never lived anywhere close to that portion of the country. He's never recruited over there. It could be oil and water. It could be a great fit. I have no idea. I don't even know how interested he is. I am pretty sure he would want to coach in the Big 12 championship game this week. The whole purpose of firing James Franklin when they did was to get a head start on the coaching search market. Well, everyone else has come in behind them and filled their spots before Penn State has, so fail on that part. And also, if you end up firing James Franklin early in the season only to wait for a guy to coach in the conference championship game, therefore missing the National Signing Day window, you also screwed yourself. So it's well documented. I thought it was dumb to fire James Franklin. It's well documented. Many Penn State fans disagreed with me, which is fine. Here we are now. By the way, you just have the added caveat, you made Virginia Tech one of the big winners in this whole ordeal, because not only did Virginia Tech massively upgrade their situation, they hired your former head coach, who was in the national semifinal less than 12 calendar months ago, with no scandal since then that could explain his firing. And they got a head start on recruiting, and they're going to poach your players, and they're going to poach your support staff, and they're good to go. They're ready for National Signing Day, or they're getting ready for it this Wednesday. You have no clue who your head coach is going to be. So the question to me is not what the prediction markets say, by the way. We got to learn this lesson, guys. You got to learn to stop using prediction markets as gospel. Prediction markets know absolutely nothing about coaching hires. Now, look, I have been very successful betting politics for a long time. And that's where the prediction markets can tell you something. Like when we're looking at congressional races and it's 2 weeks leading up and you're like in an R+3 district and the Democrat starts to tip up 55, 60, 65%, that's because there's pretty rock solid data. There's very, very reliable polling that's going on that gives you tangible reason to see those markets move. These are coaching searches. There is no tangible information. It's what's being said on Twitter and message boards, and then a bunch of people betting it. And relative to the political markets, where there is substantive information and tons of people betting on it, the prediction markets for coaching searches are still very new, which means if I go in and I drop $1,000 on Lincoln Riley to Penn State, I could fundamentally alter that market. I didn't know anything about what I just did. I don't think Lincoln Riley's going to Penn State. I was just having fun with it. And yet I just moved the market. So quick 5-second timeout. Check and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. It keeps it free. We love you. All right, back to the show. Just be careful. Be very careful. Coaching searches, and this really relates to Penn State to me right now. Coaching searches remind me a little bit of my days in talk radio. So when I first did radio, I learned about theater of the mind. And theater of the mind was always an important veil to maintain. Theater of the mind, people who grow up now, you may not understand. I came around at the very tail end of the FM radio era, where like if your mom and dad are driving you around in the morning, the local FM DJs, I mean, they're like your best friends. But you've never met them. You've probably never seen them before. You don't know what they look like. You don't know what they're really like, but yet you have a fully developed idea of their persona in your head. The worst thing you can do is meet them in person. They say don't meet your heroes. Well, also don't meet your favorite radio host, because it can only disappoint, because your mind, the theater of the mind, it builds up an image far greater than what the reality is going to be if you meet the guy on the street corner. Coaching searches are sometimes like that. In your coaching search, if you're a Penn State fan, you like to believe there's a grand master plan and there's just a very, very cerebral, diligent, intentional approach being taken. There are all these folks who are beating down the door to get the job. And sometimes that's the case. Sometimes it's not the case, but the illusion is maintained. And then other times it's not the case and the illusion is not maintained. And we are firmly in the third category with Penn State right now. So I really, even as of today, November 30th, I have no idea where they're going to go. I said last week, some of the guidance we were getting on it was, of all the jobs that were open, everyone knew Florida was going to get filled Sunday. Auburn was going to get filled Sunday. They were even fairly confident Arkansas was going to get filled Sunday. LSU was absolutely going to get filled Sunday. The one they kept coming back to me and saying they didn't know about was Penn State. We really don't know if Penn State's going to be filled Sunday. And I was like, how? National Signing Day is Wednesday. And they were like, we know, but we don't know. And I still don't know. Wednesday is signing day. The class is falling apart. I don't know. I'm not here to question whether athletic directors are qualified for their job, because 95% of what they do is behind the scenes. But seems like it's been a mess. The way to salvage it is prove everyone wrong and hire a great head coach. And I hope they do, because I love the Penn State program. That's why I dress the way I do. It's one of the reasons I dress the way I do. But right now, it's tough for me to see it, candidly. However, what I can see is that tomorrow, FanDuel goes live in Missouri. The state of Missouri, one more day, and you join the FanDuel family. Now, if any of you out there are citizens of Missouri and fans of money, I have very good news for you. I'm going to give you some for free. Well, FanDuel is. I'm just letting you know. Pre-register today, like right now. Do it before tomorrow. And then bet $5 on anything. I don't care if it loses. It doesn't matter. I'm going to get you $400 in bonus bets. You'll just see it pop into your account, and you'll be like, where did that come from? Us. So sign up, FanDuel.com/Josh Pate. Sign up in Missouri, Cape Girardeau, Joplin, St. Louis, La Plata, and beyond. They're going to really question how I know about La Plata, Missouri. But any good rail fan knows about La Plata, Missouri. So, $5, $400 seems like a pretty good proposition there.